Just let a man breathe and just hush so my mind could just see, so my mind don't erupt. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sip a double cup, then I spend a couple bucks. Sending out some love to my blood, to my girl, to my buds, to the homie up above.
Y'all tell anybody I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Biggest crackhead in the town.
Peanut butter and cracks me.
He kicked his habit back in the joint, now he's back on coins.
Here I come!
He's finally home, he's Tyrone.
All right, so first question, guys. Andres, how do you think Tyrone Biggins would fit into episode 4 of Loki season 2? What would his role be?
Folks, that's not true. David Chappelle is not in Loki season 2.
This is hypothetical. It's a multiverse.
Yeah, if he was in the multiverse, if I put him, yes, yeah, Cyber, yes.
Cyber, where would you put Tyrone Biggins into episode 4? What would if you had to slot him in? Where would he fit? Where would he fit into the show?
I think he would have been perfect in the scene where all the people are in that room there and have the colors around them, and he would have been like in there, and Ravonna Renslayer came in. He'd be like, "Snap! I'm out of here."
He'd be like, as long as you send me to the timeline that has the most crack, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm down.
Yep.
And you have the white lips and everything. But anyways, folks, graphics next scene, Cyber. I like that. Anyways, folks, this, of course, is the MCU'S Video YouTube channel and podcast. We appreciate all of you out there and whatnot that support us, as always. I'm humbled to be the creator and co-host of the MCU'S Video YouTube channel and podcast, Jeff S., a.k.a. TrueKnowledge, here, moderating once again, out of rotation, out of order. It's very natural, sort of like all the Targaryen incestual shit in the Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, which we will be reviewing House of Dragon season 2. Hopefully, it will come out in 2024. Cyber, I know you're going to get in on that, baby. There'll probably be nothing for us to review, so you'll be able to slot it right into a main show.
With the actor strike, I don't think we'll be getting that next year.
No.
No.
That's too bad. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong, folks. I guess it'll be 2025 then. Either way, we got Cyberneticshark, my co-host and veteran content creator, on the panel, once again holding it down with the pop culture guy himself, Andres, the time cop himself, John Claude's best buddy.
No, my friend is Angela Bassett. I'm a Time Lord, not a time cop. These people are messing up my story here.
Angela
Bassett? Where the fuck did that come from? Is that like a new addition to the time cop?
Angela Bassett.
The time cop manual?
Queen Ramona?
No, the amazing and wonderful actress.
Tina Turner?
Did you see that same trailer earlier with her and Shuri where she sees Namor? Did you see that same commercial? Because I saw it earlier today. It ran on my Disney Plus at the end of when I watched Loki episode 4. It showed me or maybe it might have been YouTube. I can't remember. It might have been YouTube. They showed me like a scene where it shows the scene in Wakanda Forever where Namor comes up to the beach and he's
YouTube. It's YouTube.
Is it YouTube?
Plus, yeah, it's not in Disney Plus. They don't do
okay. All right. It was YouTube. All right. So guys, folks, we're doing Loki episode 4, Heart of the TVA. Obviously, we're coming off of episode 3. Guys, I want to start right off by just asking you, and I'll start with you, Andres, if you just want to expound for a couple of minutes on what your grade would be for the first 3 episodes of the show, the mid-season. If you had to give a mid-season mark grade, it doesn't have to be. You can be 1 through 10. It could be A, B, C, D, whatever you want to, however you want to do it. And then just why.
Okay, sure. I can give it later. I think for a grade, this is an A-. I think this was really good, very strong, just like the follow season. In terms of rating, I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. I think so far it's been superb. very like, overall this show has been very good at pacing, character development for the characters. There's some that hasn't been in full character development, like Sylvie is a good example. I think she's the weakest character of the bunch this season, but it doesn't mean we have great characters that have been great in the show, like OP. I think K Kuwan is great in this season. I really love him. Seeing more Victor Timely has been a good addition. Production value, music, it's been top notch compared to other Disney Plus shows. So yeah, this been a fun show. I'm excited for episode 4. Like this, they sticking the landing. Like as I've been repeated so many times, 3 and 4 is where like we really know the show is gonna drop ball. But so far, Loki has just dropping A+ episodes for episode 3 and 4, and that's good. And I'm very excited for the last 2 episodes, which I've never been that excited for the last 2 episodes of the show. So they're doing a good job. I'm very happy for them.
Cyber.
I'd have to give it a A. I'm sorry, are we doing all the first 3 episodes you said? So A+. I would give the first 3 episodes A+. Really fantastically done. Just like Andreas said, the production value has been great. The storyline, the writing, the acting has all been on point perfection. The introduction of another form of Kang and Victor Timely has been awesome as well, and has been just really well done. Have been really enjoying Jonathan Majors, especially since he's gotten so much screen time in the last 2 episodes, and he is just I think a great new upcoming baddie compared to Thanos. I'm really appreciating this character a lot more than Thanos. And I like the development that they're putting into this character, and I think it's doing really well, especially in this series. But yeah, overall, just a really great start to the first half of this season. Amazing and awesome. And when we get to thinking about this current episode, we got lots to talk about.
We still have one more episode with Majors, so contractually. We're going to see him again. Now, whether he'll be, obviously he's not going to be Victor Timely. So the question is going to be, is he going to be He Who Remains? Is he going to be a different Kang variant? Where the hell are we even going to be in episode 5, considering what happened in episode 4? But I'd like to go ahead. I'm going to give the show a B+ through episode 3. And I could go back and change that depending on how episodes 5 and 6 happen. But I'm just being I don't want to be overly critical, but I feel like I've been soft on going back and looking back at some of the stuff that we've covered, like for instance, like Thor: Love and Thunder we reviewed. I was way soft on that, going back and looking at that now. And I'm not saying that the kid goods are coming off, but like I am trying to be a little bit more highly critical, especially after Secret Invasion. Because now that I look back at it and whatnot and everything, I see a lot of the flaws that you guys were pointing out during the reviews. The finale was garbage. I'm almost afraid to rewatch it. But nevertheless, this show cost $141.3 million. Okay, in contrast to Secret Invasion, which came out at $212 million. Right? Now, you were right, Andres. They had 4 months of reshoots on Secret Invasion. That's a lot of reshoots. Holy shit. So you figure that ends up at $23+ million an episode for Loki season 2. Secret Invasion, what? 37 million an episode. In contrast, I think Kenobi cost 120 million. I thought that was not a good show. I just finished watching that the other day. By the way, guys, oof, rough. But okay, Loki episode 4, the heart of the TVA, not the heart of the TVA. Now going right into the opening, we start off with an intro that is interlaced with not music, but like almost this like similar to sort of like the finale of season 1. This like we start off in almost like the loom. What we start off with looking at different branch realities and whatnot and everything, or whatever they're called, timelines. And we go to the castle, right? And we can hear like screams and like there's like some laughing in it and whatnot and everything. It's interesting. I don't know if that was sounds of people on all the different timelines or what that was, but we go right to Miss Minutes, and right where we were at, we start where we ended from episode 3, and Renslayer at the castle at the end of time, right after the void, and right there, Miss Minutes spills the beans on what she was talking about with episode 3 in terms of, the secrets that Ravonna didn't know about, because of course Miss Minutes is jilted now. She's like a jilted lover or whatever, whatnot. Now that she all freaked out and went schizo and talked about being in love with Victor Timely in like the last episode. Basically she explains to her that Ravonna not only she shows her like a miniaturette with like of the castle, and she can see through like a window her with He Who Remains, and He Who Remains fucking her over because he don't do partners. Kang don't do partners. He we talked about that before multiple times in other shows, other reviews. He doesn't do partners in any form or fashion. He always fucks.
Well, actually, we discovered that this season, because previously we didn't get a sense, like because remember, he was fine having an army and like servants around him, but in this season, like we understood more about the like a version of Kang, like having this vendetta of like I don't trust you, so I just trust myself, which makes sense from a multiverse storyline, So,
I guess I'm going back to the comics.
Yeah, the comics it's kind of like that a little bit.
In the comics, he doesn't team up with anybody and not fuck them over.
No,
basically, right? I mean, it's Rama Tut in Egypt when he had Apocalypse, right? ACER, as his like right hand man and whatnot and everything. I don't think he screwed him over, but they weren't partners. He was underneath Rama Tut.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, like he knows how powerful.
Did you remember that Apocalypse was? Do you remember that Apocalypse was his right hand man back in the day?
Not really. I know Apocalypse have right hand man. Like remember, Mr. Sinister worked with Apocalypse prior.
No. Rama Tut's right hand man was Apocalypse and Al Nabasur.
Yeah. I know that. I'm just saying, like, it's not a big surprise. Like, it's similar to how when Apocalypse become Apocalypse, like Mr. Sinister is like similar to what Apocalypse was to Kang.
You're right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So
Good
that's
point.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying for that.
No. So basically, Ravonna finds out that she led the armies and everything and whatnot too, like in the war, right? In the multiversal war of Kangs. She's pissed off. Right. And Miss Minutes basically says, I don't think we need him anyway. Right. We go right from there. We see Hunter B-15. They've gotten they somehow they grab Docs and her Minutemen. Right. Victor Timely pops up out of a Kang mouth, out of He Who Remains his mouth, out of a time door. Right. And starts just kind of like Victor Timely, like slinking around like the TVA and whatnot and everything, right? All spooked. I love him. Cyber, he's awesome. As Victor Timely, he really is. Majors, he's great. I love his the way he walks, his movements, his speech, the little bit of a speech impediment he has, that stutter and whatnot, and everything. I love it. It's great that you can see why they picked Majors to play the character. But basically, and then we basically get, essentially, before he meets OB, Victor Timely, or right as he meets basically OB, I believe, is right when Loki and right when Mobius pop up, right? You know, and sort of Sylvie pops up as well, and they sort of, you know, get through to him and explain to him they need his help, right? You guys can fill in the gaps with all this, but you know, Mobius lets Victor Timely, you know, sees OB, and he's kind of like goes, or whatever, whatnot. And they want to sign each other's books and everything, what manuals and whatnot and everything. And Sylvie doesn't like the sort of immediate friendship between OB and Victor Timely. Right from jump, I think you can kind of see the camera go to Sylvie's face. They head off and just kind of leave them alone with Casey. And Sylvie calls out Mobius for his like nonchalantness and whatnot and everything, and just wanting to go eat pie and just keep on maintaining his like his grind at the TVA, and asks him straight up, have you even gone to see what your life is on the timeline to like, you know, really like feel the full effects of what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? As the building is like crumbling, right? And there's like warning signs going off and whatnot and everything and all that, right? And essentially, we end up with Hunter B5 and Docs in the cell, and Hunter B5's whining, Brad's whining, and Commander Knox is like, you know, oh, enough of your shit. They seem to like say whatever. They seem to want to say like B5 Brad wants to go back to his life in the timeline, and Docs is, you know, it's they use the word shit a lot. I noticed in this series they don't swear a lot in Marvel, but they've used shit quite a bit in this one. We saw the one judge too. 100B15 goes to see the one judge, the one in the wheelchair that Andres talked about. He knows the actress, and you know, they decide that they need Docs, or not, you know, not General Docs. So Hunter B15 goes in and tries to kind of like reason with Docs and everything and whatnot and all that, and you know, ask for their help because that's how dire things are. So we'll leave it kind of there. Sylvie goes off in her own direction. Cyber, what are your thoughts on the opening? Andres, do you want to start off?
Sure, why not? Yeah, so the opening, and until, you know, the B15 and discussing the terms with, you know, General Docs was really good. I mean, everything, like, we're in the end game for the TVA team here. You're trying to fix this, you know, temporal aura. Now having Victor Timely here now in the TVA. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Jonathan Majors is great. His performance as the Victor Timely is awesome. It's really intriguing for him to see the TVA full on after, you know, you know, reading the handbook, you know. So it's like a dream come true for him. But he's kind of scared because he's not familiar with this high tech, you know, sci-fi, you know, place, you know. So it's totally great. It's really great to see, you know, Loki being a leader, you know, like, you know, you discussed how many, like, yeah, I know, oh my god, but, you know, I mean, I'm surprised Loki is not in this chat to stop this, but anyway, yeah, seriously, anyway, so for me, this opening was really fun, and you know, seeing everyone just so desperate to get like Victor to like help him do this temporary oil. The same with what was it? Victor meeting OB was awesome. Like, cause you know they worked together for the handbooks. It was awesome. They wanted to compare and contrast with their notes and all that. That was funny. And
that's right. And OB even mentions the snake eating the tails.
Yes, again, which is what I mean. I actually one of the great things about this episode, when we get into it, the payoff later this episode, they are doing one thing that the Disney Plus shows have been really awful about, was not doing payoffs right. And I think this episode does a really good job of paying off certain things. Like, I actually like how they pay off that, like the snake fight thing. That was really cool to remind me of that. because maybe there's something they're going to do with that with OB. Now, what happened with TVA, right? Or the pruning of Loki, which we'll get into later, but like really great stuff that they're paying off, and of course paying off the Victor Timely meeting OB, because that was something that, because we find out that OB has helped the handbook for He Who Remains. So yeah, so I'm very curious how we're gonna pay that off. But yeah, so that scene was really awesome. The scene with Sylvie, like, was it chastining, Mr. M, played by Owen Wilson, was like so brutal. Like I just like how like Mr. M just walk it off, like, but in his eyes, he like kind of felt a little hurt a little bit, and but at the same time, it's like I understand Sylvie, for the first time, like I don't know how he's like so relaxed and like I get he doesn't care about, like, he's fine with who he is now, but should he be more curious about his timeline? Like they had a chance to see it or not. Like it's kind of weird. He he's so like calm, with this, like, the TVA almost dying and all that. Like it's kind of weird. So I think Sylvie was on point for this episode compared to her other appearance of this season 2. But I still don't like Sylvie this season. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, but her conversation with Loki was really awesome in the pie. I mean, Loki is great in this episode. I think Tom Hiddleston is top notch. He's really doing his best for this series, which is great. And the conversation he has with Sylvie about we're gods. He I say it like telling Sylvie that he gets that he wanted to have freedom for the timelines, but like if we fix the TVA, we're able to save the the timelines and the prunings and all that. Like he's trying desperately to get everything in order, whereas Sylvie is just being very lazy and like just being mad at the TVA. And it's like you could be more productive and like helping Loki fix it, and so that everyone can have a free will. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So, and then after that, I like the conversation with B15 with the other TVA general that we seen from episode 1. It was great to see her back again. And I like how she kind of took B15's words into heart that we can change the TVA. So I really like that B15 did went to the dungeon or prison or whatnot to General Docs to like kind of convince her to join back and actually help the TVA and like actually change it. Actually do the same job but differently now. With the reveal and the the twist and all that. But of course, she just like when you get to her death scene, I like her line that I have like opened my eyes for the first time. Like I like she knows what she wants and she doesn't want to be part of this like crazy dictator TVA organization. It's just so like you totally see why she didn't accept B15's like offer or even Rainslayer sooner or later, later in the episode. But yeah, overall the opening is great. It's awesome. I'm excited to talk more about the other scenes.
Cyberneticshark, sir.
All right. So the beginning of the episode is pretty fun. As soon as Victor Timely walks through his door that he was given at the end of the last episode, of course, it's right where the bases of Kang are, and he walks right into those. And I think he kind of looks at him and goes, oh, I think that's me. Kind of deal, like, kind of admiring himself. And of course, that's, he makes his way and he comes in contact with the one other TVA guy. And that's when Loki and the awesome Owen Wilson Mobius pop up. Of course, before that, we get that, of course, that introduction to showing that Kang really is all about himself, that he doesn't work with partners and stuff like that, has Renslayer's mind wiped, which is not surprising. at all, because I think Renslayer should just be wiped anyways, because she's just a dummy, and she just proved herself throughout this whole episode, just like how stupid she is, and like this character is just like, you can tell it's evil from the get-go. It's just evil, evil, evil. So I'm not shocked at her progression throughout this episode. But I think that scene was really done well. I loved how, Miss Minutes projected it out in like that little area there for Renslayer to watch. And I thought Majors did a really great job there. But then as soon as Majors is, timely again, is awesome. I love how he's like, I'm from Chicago. I don't trust anyone. So I think that was a great one-liner. Once again, showing kind of that 1800s Chicago vibe again, especially because of H.H. Holmes over in there back in that time frame. And I think that whole situation was really fun. And they're just like, just come with us. We just want to show you what we're talking about. And, he does agree. And that's when they go and see OB and Casey. And we have kind of that conversation in there about, what they need to do to fix the loom. He recognizes, of course, timely recognizes his loom that he's created there in the 1800s. And now that it's at full, huge scale and working and stuff, he's like, you can tell he's kind of like in awe a little bit. And of course, he basically pulls out and shows eventually his little supposed fixture, the thing that's supposed to fix the problem that was originally a part of that first loom. Because as they had shown in a average scale there, the three different circles there is where the problem was, that needed to be expanded in order to allow the timelines to grow bigger.
The rings, yeah, they needed to be expanded.
Yeah. So, that thing that Victor Timely pulls out basically is what will allow those to expand and be able to allow the timeline to get bigger. So basically talking, kind of come up with a plan of building one themselves, and letting OB and Casey get back to that to build that. They end up making their way on to other matters. And that's when we kind of have that. We have Sylvie pop up there, and they're making their way back to somewhere. And Mobius is like, so we just got to sit back, wait for them to fix that, and then have some pie. And then Sylvie goes on this like tyrant raid shit. And it's just like, you dumb bitch. You're the one that caused all this. How dare you fucking tell me what I'm doing wrong? And like Mobius is just kind of standing there taking it, and I'm just like, man, poor Mobius. This is just bullshit, because this is all her fault, because she killed He Who Remains. So it's like, you caused this yourself, woman. It's your own fault. And so, like, her going on that BS rage, I was kind of like, okay, I could have done totally without this scene. It just was, ugh. And so I was just kind of like, this is stupid. Like, she's so stupid. Shut up, Sylvie. Just shut up. And I know that it's the writing of the writing team, and poor Sofina Martino. She's probably not really like that, but at the same time, she just does it too convincingly. So it's like you hate her too. So it's like, just shut up all. But that sequence there, still well done, still interesting. Her trying to blame everything on Mobius versus taking the high road and realizing, yes, I caused this and I need to help fix it, type of deal. But no. And so, then, she kind of storms off, and that's when Loki follows her to kind of have a conversation with her. And guess where they end up? In the area where the pie is. So, does she really not want pie? Because it looked like she wanted pie, because he was talking in the room where the pie is.
And all they have is the one kind of fucking pie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll take key lime pie every day. I will take that all. I would eat it all. I would go through each store, eat every single fucking one. And so, yeah, they basically have a conversation. They go back and forth, kind of bantering, and which basically leads, to the next incident that happens there, where let's see. They talked, and then did we stop there? Where did we go to?
Basically.
Okay, then yeah. Interesting beginning, very well done, and good start to an episode.
Okay, yeah, no, basically, and honestly, I think Sylvie looks okay. I mean, maybe it's just me, Cyber. I don't mind. I like her darker hair. I do. It does look kind of rat tailish. But like, I actually kind of dig it. I do. That's just me though. I like Sophie DiMartino, obviously. But no, basically, right from there is when Renslayer and Miss Minutes go in to see General Docs, and when nobody but Brad will fuck with her, right? When they bring in the machine, just like Loki did whatnot with the box machine and shit and whatnot. Renslayer squishes all of them, knocks and all her Minutemen, like 15 Minutemen or whatever, whatnot, or some shit or whatever, whatnot. And like Miss Minutes is like watching it, like smiling, all maniacal looking and shit and whatnot. She looked fucking crazy, dude. Because Ravana put it to him like basically like anybody who joins me to like straighten the TVA out will get a life on the timeline if that's what they want. Which, think about it, that's similar to like what He Who Remains told Loki and Sylvie in the finale in a way. So everybody but Brad gets squished. Timely wants to see the hot cocoa machine. When we get some more scenes with Timely and OB, and they're working on the multiplier, right? He hears about this hot cocoa machine. He's got to go see it. So the one Hunter takes him to go see it. Hunter B-15 goes to see what's left of Nox and sees all the squishing and shit and whatnot. And you could even hear him. Like it's still steaming and whatnot, and everything like into the grates or whatever and whatnot. Like whatever's left of the remains. And from there, all of a sudden the temp pads aren't working. Because Miss Minutes is back in the building. Brad prunes the Hunter with the cocoa that takes Timely and whatnot, everything. When Timely gives the Hunter the cocoa, prunes him, right? And I'll stop there. So we do get that conversation between Loki and Sylvie. Andres, and I don't know if you want to opine on that. Where Sylvie kind of gets lost, right? And ends up at the pie area, whatnot. But like, talk about that and then go through everything I just covered right there.
Yeah. I already said my pie thing. I want to address the Sylvie of this season. I'm with you, Jeff. I don't hate her, but the thing is, it's just like everything they're doing with her character is just so typical and uninspiring. Like they could have done so much more with her character. Like my problem right now with the season with her is just she's very proactive. She's very unproactive for this season. Like the fact that she's literally the one that killed Who Remains and caused this mess. Like, and she's not taking like action or concentration on this like decision she made. And I just feel like there should be more talking and a little more effort for her to like realize that this is all her fault because she's the one that caused the mess. And so we'll see what we're gonna do here with the next 2 episodes. But yeah, it's still uninspiring right now with her. It's just like the only thing that's working with around her is really Loki talking to her, and like he's trying to help her like overcome this like dark this very guilt or sad feeling she's having this time around, and trying to comfort her and try to be part of this new journey for the TVA to overcome this like regime that was not good. But the cocoa machine, like it was very funny gag. I mean, it was like, oh my god, the cocoa machine, we have a cocoa machine. It's like, yeah, sure. I mean, there were machines later like with sodas and vending machines. I don't know when that popped up in the century, but like it's just very funny that we get that gag. But oh my god, the guy was so stupid. He should have like took like watch over his back if something was gonna happen to him or himself. Like it was very stupid of him to take that cocoa. Plus, I know Victor Timely is not who he remains, but the fact that he gave him the cocoa and didn't react too badly with his death, it kind of shows that he is very selfish as a person.
He got pruned. He didn't get killed by the cocoa.
Yeah, but I mean, right now I don't know what's pruning or killing now. Like I'm sorry.
He got pruned. He got Brad Wolf pruned him from behind.
But yeah, well, actually, that's my little complaint. Like after the void, is pruning not going to the void? Like I'm a little because the thing about that is that
it must take you to the void because remember we see Ravana in the trailer, which I'm actually going to play right now anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Ravana gets pruning in this episode, and we don't know what happened to her because of the time explosion happened in this episode. So I don't know if the void does exist anymore.
Let's look at the trailer.
No, don't. No, I still want to talk. Wait, stop. Wait.
You can finish as soon as we get done with the trailer.
Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Tobias! Wow! Great to see you again!
That's what's been happening.
Wow! Time slipping.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
I've been pulled through time between the past and the present. Hello? If what I saw is true, there's nothing to stand between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find out. Little good old-fashioned legwork. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
He really didn't do much in this episode.
It's up to us to save this place.
Is this cracked?
You're good.
Whatever we do, we're playing God.
We are gods. But how do you choose who lives and who dies? Make the hard choice. It's him.
You better run!
War is on its way.
Come on, you're the god of mischief.
That was her in the void right there.
Always have been. Always will be.
A little over the top, don't you think?
I thought it was spot on.
All right, Andres. Now, please finish, sir.
They canceled. Oh yes, the echo's off. Thank you. Yes, the 120-minute man is here, folks. That's right. Apparently, I'm 120. It's like no, it was like 113. Cyber. I think that was how long. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, Cyber, Cyber Jeff, well, TrueKnowledge. That's her name, right? Brought up the footage of the void. Okay, I get that. But here's the thing. We need to be careful because sometimes Marvel does this thing where you see footage from the trailer, for some bizarre reason we don't see that in the movies. Like remember Infinity War, we see Hulk was with all the Avengers in Wakanda, like just staring in front of the screen, but we didn't see that in the actual movie, So I don't know if this, we were going to see that, and maybe we're going to see it soon in either 5 or 6. So I with you, Jeff. I totally forgot about that. But it's kind of weird. But anyway, so last thoughts. Besides that, I thought it was stupid. The guy was stupid. I mean, like, he was bamboozled by Coco. Like, come on, he's been there for so long. Like, he should know that machine. It's like, anyway. So that was the name. So, but anyway.
For real, that guy was like old as shit. Like, you never drank some cocoa before?
Yeah, right. Like, it's a TVA. Like Mr. M brings these old drinks and like food from another time period. Like you should have done something like that. Like, oh, I drove this 100-year-old cocoa that doesn't exist anymore. That's my favorite thing. Like, I don't know. So it was bizarre, but anyway, yeah. I mean, that brief moment was like, okay, because we're just seeing the Rainslayer action kind of kicking in. We didn't talk about the jail cell, right, where Rainslayer killed General Dox, because that was
all the way through that. Yeah, through that.
Okay, so like that part, like, was like very shocking. Like,
all the way to the part where the temp pans aren't working, and like then you like Ravana and Miss Minutes address Timely and finally catch up with Timely.
Okay. So the prison cell, that was very shocking. Like, I mean, you're right. Miss Minutes smiling at the deaths was kind of creepy and like very evil. I'm really liking this new side of Miss Minutes that we haven't seen from first season, so that was really cool. I love Miss Minutes. She's a great character. I love Tara Strong, great actress, voice actress. Very happy she's in the show. But yeah, killing them by the same way that Loki did to X5.
Brad.
Yeah, X5/Brad, but this time seeing it through, off-screen killing, but it was effective because like B-15's reaction afterwards. So yeah, and then of course when the TVA's pads were not working, of course it makes Miss Minutes, and the scene when Miss Minutes and Slayer and then of course X5/Brad were in the wardrobe with Timely, you see her glitching and she's starting to get rebooted, and like that was such a creepy design they did with Miss Minutes, and her last line saying to Victor that you're not him was such a burn, like one of the greatest burn of the whole time, that you're not going to be him, who remains. So that was like such a big burn from Miss Minutes. So I'm curious if we're going to see Miss Minutes again because of the reboot, but we'll see. But yeah, so I really like that scene. The prison cell death scenes were like brutal, like really shocking. Yeah, I don't know why Rensselaer went in to try to save the TVA, But yeah, so those parts were my favorite, and yeah, I'm very excited to talk about like, was it the Loki getting pruned to himself, just what we saw in episode 1.
We're almost there.
Yeah, so when we get to that, but overall, I like those sections. Those were really great, except for the Coco thing. It's stupid. So
Cyber, you're up next, brother. From the where we ended off to where Ravana and Hunter B-15 grab Victor Timely after Brad prunes that Hunter, that Victor Timely gives him the cocoa.
Okay. So end there.
Yeah.
Okay. And
we picked up. We stopped right around where Sylvie called out Mobius on the pie, and so we're right around where
what happens after this scene where Loki and Sylvie have the conversation?
Renslayer and Miss Minutes go in and see Miss General Dox in the cell.
Okay, that's right. All right. So starting from there, as soon as Renslayer popped up, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. And Miss Minutes shows up and she's like smiling, deviously smiling. You're just like, wow, Miss Minutes really is fucking evil. Like, what the hell is going on with this chick? And I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, what's going on with Miss Minutes? Like, Miss Minutes is really going insane, just like Renslayer is. And she pops up, and what's his name there? B15 or no B5? Sorry, B5. You know, he's like, you could tell he's notably scared by her presence there. And all of them are kind of looking at her like, oh, look, Renslayer. And, you know, she basically starts, you know, spouting out things saying, oh, if you do this, then I'll take you and put you on the timeline after I restore the TVA type of deal. And Docs and pretty much everyone else is just like, nah, no, we don't follow you. You are the enemy, basically. Like, we don't listen to you. And, you know, basically that's when B5, Brad, decides to betray them. And they ends up putting them into that one of those boxes and ends up crushing them. And you're just kind of like, holy crap. Like, wow. Like, that's just freaking insane. Like, that is crazy. Like, that just shows you how out there Renslayer and Miss Minutes have gotten. Like, they are beyond help. Like, they are full on Thanos bad guy bad. And so it's like, holy crap, like, too bad they didn't show that, like, happening. You just can kind of hear it, and I'm like, ooh, I would have liked to have seen that at least, maybe. You could have, you know, had a little gore factor. Would have been interesting. And I was like, oh, wow. And just the expression on Brad's face is just like, you did this to yourself, bro. And you just kind of like, you don't feel sorry for him because he's just becoming evil like everyone else. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're just bad. You're just bad. So after that happens, that's when we go back to Mobius is having a conversation with Timely and everyone else there that's working on stuff. And he's talking, for some reason, he's talking about Coco. I don't know why he's talking about Coco, but Mobius is talking about Coco. And Victor Timely keeps going, what is this Coco machine? And, you know, it's kind of like a machine, a machine there, Timely. Like, you know what a machine is. You built a machine, sir. And he's like, he keeps interrupting. He's like, I got to know more about this Coco machine. So this machine makes Coco? And like, Mobius is like, yeah, machine, yeah. And so he's like, I must be taken to this. So he has the one head guard guy escort him to the Coco machine. And they end up there. And Timely, like, makes a cup of cocoa at the machine. And he turns around and, like, puts it towards the guard guy. And the guard guy's like, no, you know, trying to be polite and stuff like that. And Victor's like, yes, take. And he ends up taking it and starts to drink it a little bit, and all of a sudden he starts to convulse, and you're like, holy shit, did he just spike it? Did he just like put something in it to kill the guy? And like all of a sudden, no, you see that he's being pruned by B5, and I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, this douche, god damn it. And like, he's pruned and the hot chocolate falls to the ground, and Victor's just kind of like, oh, you know. And he's like, okay, I'm going to take you to where I need to take you, basically. You're going to follow me. And he ends up taking him to Renslayer and Miss Minutes. Do we go to that scene, or do we stop there?
We stop right there.
Okay.
All right, so
section.
Right there, we go right there, we get Renslayer, we get Timely. You know, and basically, you know, Sylvie gets trapped in the elevator, you know, because Miss Minutes has control of everything and whatnot, everything. Going back to episode 1, Loki realizes, like, as he's kind of running around, that like he's back where he was in episode 1, and like realizes it and whatnot and everything. And we hear the phone, we see the elevator. Sylvie pops out of the elevator when she like hot wires it and shit and whatnot, and Loki prunes himself. You know, Ravana and Miss Minutes address Timely, and obviously we already discussed sort of like, you know, how Miss Minutes kind of like, you know, gets, well, no, we didn't discuss it. Basically, you know, the phone finally gets answered. It's OB on the phone, being like, where are you guys? or whatever and whatnot. And they take Miss Minutes officially offline, allowing the Lokis to use their magic. Miss Minutes kind of disintegrates as they're talking to Renslayer and says to him, "You'll never be him." As one of her eyes kind of like is like, like changed. And so Sylvie enchants X5, prunes Ravana, and then I'll stop there. Cyber, your thoughts?
All right. So that section of the film was pretty interesting. That whole conversation with Renslayer, Miss Minutes, and Victor in the office area there with D5 there was fun because it was kind of like he kind of felt like he had a little bit of the upper hand there, but she was like, "Oh, I'll just have B5 do some evil kill you things," and he's kind of like, "Okay, I'll pull out the book and show her," which I felt was like, I'm like, "Oh, come on, you could have held out a little better there, folks," and basically had get him to basically tell her what is going on with the loom and everything and his machine that he made and everything, and showing that here's all the schematics, you can build it yourself type of deal. And it just like worked really well, that sequence, because it just once again reiterated how insane Renslayer has become and how her like hunger for saving the TVA is like clouding her judgment and like making her go insane. And it's like, what does she think she's saving at the TVA? Because the TVA is not in shambles because you left. The TVA is in shambles because Sylvie killed He Who Remains. So I don't know where she keeps getting this idea that it went to shit because she left, which cracks me up. So I think that's funny that she's got this like kind of complex thinking, "Oh, I'm everything about the TVA" type of shit. And I think there's more to her memory wipe than just what we saw at the very beginning. And something I forgot to mention about that beginning sequence when Renslayer shown that video of He Remains saying to wipe her memory. Before that, I don't know if you noticed, if you listen very closely, He Remains said that she was a marble. So I don't know if that is referring to the marbles themselves or the character Marvel, Marvel. But I'm thinking it just meant like kind of like, "Oh, you're a marble, like you're marvelous" type of deal. But who knows? That could be a little reference to maybe the marbles. I don't know. So I think that was interesting that they had that line in there that you're a marble. So I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's going to lead to anything, but I thought I'd bring that point up in case anybody else noticed it. But back to where we are. So yeah, we have that scene in the basically the big room. And then from there we go to, I'm totally blanking what we. Oh yeah, Sylvie and Loki are making their way. They get stuck in the elevator.
She gets stuck in the elevator, and Loki ends up roaming.
Oh yeah, yep. First they both get into the elevator, and then Loki gets back out, and she gets stuck in the elevator. This because Miss Minutes is controlling everything, like you said, and eventually Sylvie opens up the panel and makeshifts it so that it would go up, and Loki makes his way up the stairs, and that's when, of course, he comes across where he was in the first episode, where we didn't know who pruned him. Behold, once again, I think some of us even said that in that first episode that we thought it was Loki himself that pruned himself. So there we go. We found that out that he did. And so that sequence was interesting to finally see actually who pruned him. I love that they finally solved that question. And she has the thing and she says, "Oh, there you are," after he gets pruned. And then she sees the other one behind him and she's like, "Oh." And he's like, "You get it now?" After he had said something earlier to her. And then, of course, yeah, they get the call from OB, like, "Where are you guys?" And, they're, said, "Oh, we just got held up, It's like, "Well, you need to get here," type of deal. And they make their way. I think that's where you said to stop.
Yeah, right around there.
great section, great part, fun, awesome, and excellent.
Andre's the pop culture guy.
I already say a couple of things there. The payoff of Loki putting himself, that's something I didn't talk about. Yeah, that one I was very shocked that they paid that off. I thought that was going to be like a lost season like thing. Maybe it was towards the end of episode 6 to see that. I'm very happy, just like Saber said, that we got that like payoff in this episode. Excuse me. Like that was really good. I thought that was see that one. I mean, a great payoff from a previous episode. That's something that Disney Plus shows like Marvel is lacking. Just a great payoff for these like left plot points that they were setting up and then just like unsatisfying, not get payoff. So this was a great payoff, and it was simple, which is great. And and I like in this, like to acknowledge how the time travel is so messed up and just like confusing. I like that Loki tells Sylvie that I will explain this later. I promise you that it makes more sense. Later when I explain this, what happened. That moment with Sylvie with the other Loki variant, whatever you call it. But that was a great scene, and yeah. So Rainslayer. I mean, I was kind of surprised that we didn't get more Rainslayer minutes to be the evil doer. So I thought they were a great combo. So hopefully we get more of them soon in the next 2 episodes. But yeah, overall great sequence here, and I was very happy they pay off the whole Loki prune thing from episode 1, which is good.
Do you have anything else to say about the whole like Loki pruning thing and whatnot? If you want to go expound on that a little bit, go ahead.
Me or
you, Andres?
Oh no! I mean, that's really it. I mean, because there's something else they brought over in towards the end of the episode that I'm curious about. But yeah, overall, the pruning thing was great. There was nothing much to say. I mean, it was like it was the thing they need to pay off, and so they did. So it makes sense. So which is good.
Well, at that point right there, after they take Miss Minutes offline, Sylvie enchants Hunter, B5, Brad, and prunes Ravana, right? And Timely goes out to fix the loom with the throughput multiplier, and he gets spaghettified, and then the whole loom explodes, and like all of everybody there kind of like there's a moment where everybody kind of is like, what happened? Like, and then they get blasted by the fucking energies in the loom. And then that's the end. It goes to black. And that's the end of the episode. So, Andre is a pop culture guy. Your thoughts?
Okay, first off, let's get the Victor Timely killing off thing. It was so awesome. Like, totally unexpected. Like, it was such a great payoff of a gag they set up. Like, like he was so confident. No more Carol. And the music swells. He was like, I'm not Kyrie. I'm going to go out there, do the thing. And then all of a sudden, the door's open. And before he comes out, a little inch outside, bam, he becomes spaghetti meatballs in the floor. Totally unexpected. His death was so, like, oh my God, what was it? Like Samuel L. Jackson's death from Deep Blue Sea. But not as good as that thing. But anyway, I was shocked that they kill off Victor Time like that. That was so funny, and the reaction of everyone seeing that, I was like, oh my God, the temporal radiation it was so high, and he killed him that way. I was like, yeah, seriously, dude. Like, when you checked to see if the radiation was like that was so high before you let that person die, I was so like. I was just like so perfect to just like, oh my God, you guys, I love you guys, but you made such a dumb decision in this episode. You allow an innocent man, innocent by proven guilty of variants that we've seen over the movies, TV, and MCU phase 4 and 5, but you let this innocent man die without checking proper protocols. If the outside was like fully like radiated properly, and you just laughed at it. I just find it so funny. It was just great. But yeah, but so like Loki and you know Sylvie saving him was really great. You know, everyone trying to get this thing to be done, you know, was you know it's kind of sad to see that not working, you know, and then the explosion. I was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting like a Infinity War, you know, like snap kind of way of like seeing the temple thing just explode, and then now we don't know what's going to happen to um our heroes, which we kind of know a little bit in the trailers, like because there's one part where like Sylvie's in the record store, which we haven't seen yet in the last 4 episodes we have so far, so that will probably come in 5
or Loki with the collar on.
Oh yes, yes. That and what was the other TVA agent? Cassie. He's in some like dungeon or like something like that. Like he's in prisoner or something. We haven't seen that, so like really great like end of this episode. And the music. Well, speaking of the music starts to do the Loki theme like so dramatically, and I love how they cut it off. You know, like to blank, and you don't know that if your TV or your computer didn't like stop working. I was like, oh my god, what happened? Yeah, like it was like literally like Arkham Asylum. Like when I don't know you played Arkham Asylum games, but like in the first game when Batman was affected by fear toxin, and then everyone freaked out because it started to glitch, but it was actually the fear toxin that affected Batman. And then we jump in from the beginning of the game, and then Batman, you know, is captured just like the Joker in Arkham Asylum in the beginning of the episode. It is literally like that for this episode. The end of the episode is like, oh my god, what's going to happen? My TV's off. A virus or something like that? No, it's just it just cuts to black. It's like, bam, we don't know what's going to happen to our characters.
Aren't you playing like advanced video games in the future and shit and whatnot with John Claude?
No, Angela Bassett.
When is the Kickboxer video game going to come out?
No. I have I'm not fans of. Well, I'm fans with Arnold. I'm fans with Sly. I'm fans with friends with other actors star Norris, Chuck Norris. Let's not forget about him. He's my favorite. Who else? Steven Seagal and not Steven Seagal. We're not friends. Steven Seagal he's an asshole.
Oh,
you know,
we gotta do Out for Justice.
No, we can skip his movies. We're good. Anyway, but not Under Siege because of Tommy Lee Jones. Anyway, but yeah, so less thoughts. I think this was a great episode. I loved it. It's not my favorite episode of the season 2, but it's like really good. Like I'm happy they left us like a very like uncertain direction for the last 2 episodes, which is great because the Disney Plus Marvel shows is so predictable. Like Secret Invasion episode 4, when we killed off Talos, it was like, oh wow, they like. I mean, first off, killing off another major character was like so stupid from their part, and like we didn't do anything with that. Here, it's like, oh my god, like everything's destroyed, and what's gonna happen to our heroes? And it's like we don't know what's gonna happen next week. So that's like so exciting. That's what you need to do. So yeah, I love this episode. It's not my favorite, but it's a really good episode for the season.
Cyberneticshark.
So the end of the episode is pretty good. I personally hate when they do cliffhangers on episodes. It drives me nuts. I hate when they do that kind of shit. I mean, at least take it a little partial to the next point, you know. But I was literally like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" When it happened, I'm like, "Oh, come on! You're gonna black out right after it happened." I'm like, damn you!" I'm like, "Fuck you, Disney!" And I was just like, "Oh, come on, guys! You guys got to give a better end of this." But I mean, leading up to it, it's a great kind of like conclusion. You know, them trying to still get out there to fix the loom still with the device that they created, that OB created with Casey. And they basically have Victor Timely have him say, hey, we're going to have you go do it. And he gets all suited up, gets all out there, and he walks not even 2 feet, and he basically disintegrates. And they all go back to them and they're like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? Like, seriously, what? And it was kind of like, just like the damn ending explosion. It was like, what? And it's just like, I was just kind of sitting there going, I think my brain just fell out because I'm not sure where it went, because this was like so crazy, insane, how they ended this. And it was surprising with how well the last 3 episodes were written and done, and completely kind of given a kind of a full picture. This one they decided to do on a cliffhanger. Now, I can understand if they did, 5 that way. But 4, god damn it, why did you do that? We should have done 5 that way, because then it makes more sense, because you go into the finale, it's ending, you get to complete the story. That made more sense. But how they ended this, but excellently done. I thought it was all very visually beautiful, really well done, really a decent ending. Just like Andre, not my favorite episode, but definitely a interesting and fun episode. And I really enjoyed all the visuals of this episode. They were really cool. I mean, when Victor Timely disintegrated, it looked like he turned into almost like threads, which was really cool looking. And that was really interesting. But then Loki's face as the blast is coming is on point perfection by Tom Hiddleston. He looked freaking awesome. And it was exactly how Loki should have looked in several scenes previous to this in other films. Because I was just mentioning that how much I love the evolution of this Loki, since being from the Avengers dimension timeline to coming into this timeline,
Phase 1, baby.
Yeah, and just his growth and him becoming who he is, I just have really enjoyed. And so just to kind of obliterate that with that blast, it'll be interesting to just see what happens. But from my understanding, a lot of people are saying that it's just like how when you got pruned, you just go to another timeline or another dimension of some sort. So pretty much a lot of what people are saying is that we're going to see all these characters again, and they will end up, we'll just see them in another place, and they basically will have to figure out how to fix the timeline again. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the timeline goes. Another thing I was mentioning too was, when is this supposed to be taking place in the timeline of the MCU? Is this supposed to be after the event? I know this is supposed to be after the events of Endgame.
I'm not sure at all.
Is this supposed to be like when the Multiverse of Madness is happening? Is this supposed to be happening when No Way Home is happening? When the time rift gets lipped open? You know what I mean? Because that's my first thought was when the explosion happened with the loom. It totally made me think of in No Way Home when Doctor Strange does that incantation and it opens up all the portals and timelines to other dimensions and other timelines. It almost looked like that same effect almost to me. So that's kind of my thought process on that a little bit. Like, it's happening in that time frame there too. So it'll be interesting to see where actually this takes place on the timeline eventually.
Yeah, it has to be either Multiverse of Madness or No Way Home, because it's.
Well, I remember that technically it's only been still like what, 2 weeks or something like that for Loki since like Endgame, since like the first Avengers movie for him.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But Saber's right. I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, that's a good point, Saber. I was thinking about that a little bit, but I don't know. I cannot trust Marvel Studios now if they land the sticking with the timeline. So like, it has to be either after going home, because that makes a lot of sense. Multiverse Madness. Well,
another point there too is how you just said, Jeff, that for this Loki, it seems to be only a couple weeks after, the events of Avengers.
Yeah.
Don't forget, because the timeline or the time in the TVA is so different, this could actually be years since then. It could be even days, months.
Yeah.
So we don't even
That's
know
true.
when it actually is.
Yeah, because we don't know how time works in the TVA.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
Especially at the events of episode 4, the way that it just ended. I mean, I'll tell you. So you guys want to go ahead and do ratings? I'm gonna go ahead and drop a. I'm gonna give this an 8. What do you got, Andres?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I thought that, it wasn't the best after episode 3, but it wasn't the worst, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Cyberneticshark?
I have to give it a 9. And I only give it a 9 because of the ending. The cliffhanger always gets deducted at least a point. So that's why I give it a 9. Otherwise, I thought the episode was just as good as the previous 3 up to that point. It was just really well done as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, you know what, folks? That's basically, I mean, you guys, really quick, you guys want to sneak in what are your thoughts on where do you, Cyberneticshark, where do you think this is, we're going in episode 5? And then, how do you see season 3 bouncing off of this, if you can project that far out?
Well, I have no idea where they're going with this. All I know is that I'm sure we'll see all these characters again at some other point for wherever they have gone after this explosion. I do know that it's probably going to lead to whatever next adventure that is going to be a part of the new MCU, basically, going forward, especially for, like, getting close to Deadpool 3, the Captain America 4, stuff like that. So, I mean, it could lead into any of those. It could lead into a new Spider-Man film. I mean, it could be a part of the Marvels. I'm not sure. Maybe the Marvels are going to have to, help fix something. Maybe that's the reason why they're transporting each other when, Iman uses the amulet. It could be a part of that as well. So I'm not sure exactly where it's leading to. But wherever it's leading, hopefully it makes a good tie-in. Season 3, hopefully we get a season 3. I'm not sure if we are yet, because you know how the MCU is, and especially with them trying to get away from doing the shows now. Who knows if we'll get any more series, besides the ones that have already been kind of done, and maybe there'll be a lot fewer and farther in between. So I'm not sure if we'll get a Loki season 3. If we do, great. I think that this is probably one of their best shows that they could keep doing seasons with, especially with this character of Loki, because he's such a great character and has had so many different story arcs throughout the Marvel comics. So I mean, there's a lot that they can do with this. And if they do a season 3, we can see more things leading up to Kang Dynasties, to Secret Wars. So, I mean, there's unlimited possibilities where they could go with this.
I'm just a pop culture guy.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with the series towards the end. I mean, because there's just a lot of uncertainty where they're gonna go with the multiverse, So, and especially we haven't discussed this. Simon brought up the timeline. It's like one of my biggest issues with the multiverse saga is there's no coordination with the studio and the TV folks, and that's something I hope we can get later after the strikes are over, because me and Cyber brought up the movies, the multiverse and the No Way Homes, and like they literally are inconsistent about what's the multiverse, and like they haven't followed the terminology and the world building that Loki has built so perfectly from first season. So I really want to see more of what Loki has established and being more in the movies, so that there is a consistent world building to the next 2 Avengers movies. So hopefully we get that. I mean, Deadpool 3 is going to be our next multiverse crossover, basically. Like No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if that's gonna tie in really. I mean, because it's Deadpool 3. I don't know why you want to trust Deadpool 3, for building up your Avengers movies, but hopefully, I mean, it'd be funny that Deadpool 3 would be the only multiverse movie that actually did the multiverse right than those two movies. But anyway, that could work because no way, the Marvels is not going to tie in to Loki at all because it's only going to tie in what Shang-Chi built up with the Bengals and what Miss Marvel did. That's like, that's what the Marvels is building up. So I don't see any multiverse thing with the Marvels. Maybe in a post-credit scene, they will probably tag in something towards the end of the Marvels, something to build up the multiverse saga. I don't know.
Yep.
So
sorry about that.
No. It's okay. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, I just need this multiverse to be consistent and try to take what Loki has built so well for season 3. If they're not going to continue with Jonathan Majors and Kang, like we don't know what's going on with that, all that. If they feeling cold feet, with Jonathan Majors, which I hope not. I mean, they are setting Rainslayer to be a good villain. Like, I think her motivation makes a lot of sense with the reveal this episode did, and like Miss Minutes, like I can see her be a good major villain for the next 2 Adventures movies. And like, plus, like we haven't addressed her. Like she was a teacher in first season, and we haven't addressed that. So, are we going to pay that off in this season, or next season? So, like again, that's something they need to pay off. That Rainslayer did have like a timeline, which we didn't address at all in this episode, or maybe soon these 2 episodes, maybe, I don't know.
I don't think she cares.
Yeah, just like Mr. M, right? She doesn't care. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But this gonna be maybe probably the best Disney Plus series, with multiple seasons, so I can trust them. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, we're going to go ahead and drop the Marvels trailer because I mean we're going to figure out a day or whatever and whatnot to review this at some point when it comes out. What, guys? When does this come out? November what? 11th? 10th? The 10th. Okay, the
Friday.
10th. Yeah, so I mean we're 2 weeks out from seeing this probably, so we're going to review it. As much as I hate to say it, I'm going to see it. I'm just not pre-paying for my tickets. But here we go, Marvels. Here's our reaction.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Cold, no air, space.
Captain Marvel. The Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
What is happening to me? She's entangled our light-based powers. So we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala...
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
I love her.
She's targeting every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh my god, we're a team.
Higher.
Further. Faster.
Who's a good kitty goose?
Yes. I love Aman Vellani. I do. So, Andres, what do you think about the Marvels, brother? Are you looking forward to going? I'm going to go see. I mean, that makes me feel a little bit excited. I don't know. I just remembered I love Aman Vellani. Cyber knows I love Miss Marvel. I used to have the poster behind me, whatnot, everything. I miss it, to be honest with you. It was my favorite Disney Plus series last year.
Yeah, it was same for me. For the 22 Phase 4 slate. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so dark and depressing to say that. No, Miss Marvel was the best Disney Plus show after pretty much Loki, WandaVision, Hawkeye for me in my list. But in Phase 4, anyway, that's the big.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome, Andres. I'm glad you like Miss Marvel that much.
Yep. I'm my excitement for the film is just kind of curious. What's the word? Curiosity, really. I'm not excited for the film. I'm not like dreading it. I'm like curious about seeing the film whenever my time and schedule is available. I know I'll probably see it that week, probably Sunday, if I have a friend that is actually available. I mean, my co-host say he's excited seeing the film. I mean, we before we watched Killers of the Killer Moon, by the way, great film. We're talking
Killer Moon.
The Killers of the Flower Moon. I need to say
it's Killers of the Flower Moon.
I'm gonna ask Ging Yang from the Flower Massage Parlor to go with me to see the Marvels.
Why I'm sorry, the Ians. I knew he was gonna do a massage party. I was hoping we were gonna get a good long streak of non-parlor jokes. Yeah, I hate you, Jeff. I hate you. Anyway, so yeah, he's excited. My host is excited for the Marvels. Okay, I mean, good for you, buddy. I don't know. I mean, like, if it was in the other phases, I could have been more excited. I mean, the bringing Miss Marvel in a Captain Marvel sequel makes sense if you read the comic books like myself. Like, it's a good idea. And bringing Monica in the part of it, it's good. It's just like, I don't know, it feels like so 90s. Such a 90s movie for some reason. I mean, not because you've seen the Beastie Boys song in the trailer so many times, but I don't know.
It's a dope-ass song.
Yes, I know that, but when you use a song like that, it just tells me you're, like, filler. You know, and that's the thing. It feels like a filler movie. Like,
it does.
You know, if I just like yeah, we need a sequel for Captain Marvel, but like, why? It's like you're doing the multiverse like that. It's just, I don't know. It's been a problem with that release ticket. So that's my thoughts on the trailer.
All right, Cyberneticshark, sir, the Marvels.
So I'm a little more optimistic about this than most are. After watching the trailer a few different times, there's definitely elements of it that I think will be funny. So those will be enjoyable. And I definitely think that there is potential to be something of some watching quality to this. Even though, you know, it's another one of those films I feel that definitely is a hate movie. Like how Age of Ultron was for Joss Whedon, because he had a grudge against MCU, against Feige. And after, you know, the things that the director has come out and said about the Marvels, definitely sounds to me like it didn't go the way she wanted it to go, and they added stuff in it that was more MCU like versus it being just some type sort of feminine lockdown film that was all about fem power and. You know, so I think
another MCU special.
Yes, exactly. And so I think, you know, after kind of what, you know, what's his name coming back as the CEO, I think there have been a lot of changes to a lot of the films. That's why a lot of them are getting delayed, why a lot of them are doing reshoots and all that kind of stuff, because he sees that they're losing money. He wants to remake money. So he needs to go back to the original formula. So I think that with the Marvels, if I remember correctly, I read that there have been some reshoots for that film. There have been, you know, stuff that has been done to it. So I don't think it's the director's original vision that will be seen.
They cut a lot of it out.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the shortest. Going to be the shortest MCU film too.
It's going to be an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it's an hour and 42 minutes, and so it's the shortest out of all the MCU films, even shorter than Thor 1 and Ant-Man 1, and so it's going to be interesting to see just how much they pack into it in that less than 2-hour film. So that's why I'm thinking why I was making this saying that there could be some Marvel, Marvel's Loki related stuff, because this might, like you were saying, be in a filler film that it possibly could end up being a filler to the multiverse. Because I'm still getting a feeling that even though it's about the amulets, I still think it's going to be a verse type of situation that's causing the amulets to react how they are. So I think we're definitely going to be seeing something that is similar to Doctor Strange, similar to Shang-Chi even, maybe there might be a Shang-Chi connection there. But even though we have no clue when Shang-Chi 2 is going to come, who knows if it'll be related to Shang-Chi at all. So hopefully it'll be a decent film. Like I said, I'm being optimistic about it because after I watched the trailer a few times, there are scenes that I feel look pretty fun. Like that scene with the Furkle at the end there with Imani Vellani looks absolutely hilarious to me. Her cuteness is just gonna be so much fun, I think, in that film. And she's gonna run that whole film, I think.
Me too.
She's gonna take all the reins from Brie Larson.
I love it.
She's gonna be the star.
I love Iman Vellani. I know you do Cyber. I Miss Marvel was really good. We really enjoyed reviewing that. That was I've enjoyed going back and rewatching those reviews because I've been putting them up on the podcast. And shout out to everybody who enjoys the MCU'S Bleeding Edge podcast. We're back in effect, baby. I'm starting to get some new episodes, some of the old episodes back up. But Cyberneticshark, I think Iman Vellani could steal the movie too. So could Monica Rambeau too, though.
I agree too.
Because Brie's done. She's toast. I mean, she's either they're going to fire her or she's going to walk away or whatever or something because she's. I mean, nobody wanted Captain Marvel. Nobody was asking for Captain. Nobody asked for the Eternals. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody asked for that. Nobody wanted the Eternals. Honestly, I think how they have the Rotten Tomatoes meter. They should have like a meter of dudes that goes out that when they take a date to go see a Marvel movie. If they don't get laid, like if their date falls asleep or some shit during the movie or some shit like that or whatever, there should be a meter for that. You know what I'm saying? Like your success rate for the movie. Because if you take the girl to like go see Endgame, you're getting laid. So you know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Well, so let me come in and say, like, first off, I think the Eternals and Captain Marvel could have been successful if they just stick the landing. Like, remember, we had Guardians and Ant-Man.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, sticking the landing.
Yes. Yeah, but I just want to make sure you're saying that right to the folks here. But, yeah, I agree. I just want to make sure because I was excited for Captain Marvel and the Eternals if they were good movies. All right? When I say if they were good movies. Which both weren't, and they're very low tier MCU ranking films in my book.
I'd say so.
Yeah, and so they just didn't. And plus, I don't know what you guys think about the Marvels. Like for me, it's almost like they're aiming at the teenager crowd. I don't know if that's intentional with the marketing, which I'm fine with that. But like,
what marketing?
Like. The marketing, like the trailers, it feels like it's very, I don't know, like it's TV teenager, like soap opera, like I don't know, like it just feels like that way. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie for everyone. You know what I mean? Like Guardians.
I do. It seems very individualistic, just like the first Captain Marvel movie, like very secluded.
Yeah, and that's my issue with that. Like, it's not that bad if you do it right. Like Barbie, like look at Barbie; it made money. They can do it, but the thing is, the Marvel is gonna fail with that. It's because I don't know. I don't understand what they're thinking with this movie. So it's just we'll see. I'm I'm happy it's 2 weeks away, so we can get it over with. Like that's it. Like get it over with, forget about it, and just like move on.
Well, let's get our plugs in here. And let's get the fuck out of here, gentlemen. What's up? We'll start off with Cyberneticshark, and then we'll finish up with you, Andres. Cyberneticshark, sir, 707 subscribers. Take over.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so if you enjoyed me here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, definitely check out my solo content underneath Cyberneticshark. You'll find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, pretty much everywhere, X. I pretty much post regularly. As you can see there, my most recent review still is Saw 10. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend check out that review. And of course, I'll be having some more reviews up soon. I'll be having my Killers of the Flower Moon review up soon, along with the creator, and with also Slaughterhouse, which is a great film as well. Can't wait for you guys to see that. And also more little mini reviews for you guys. As you can see there, most recently I did Lake Placid, Demons 2, All Hallows Eve, Kingdom of Spiders, Tarantula's Deadly Cargo, Pearl, and yeah, you'll be seeing a few more horror films in the next few days for the rest of Halloween, October month. And yeah, thanks for all the new subscribers. Keep subscribing. Let's get us to that 1,000 mark so we can start making some moolah on this thing for you guys. Yeah, so we can make better and better content for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys. Keep on subscribing.
That's right, folks. Keep it real. Subscribe to Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel and get some fucking free money, bitch. What's up? Everybody likes free money. Andre's Pop Culture Guy, 833 subscribers.
Yes. So thank you everyone for supporting me for my channel. So just like Cyber say, the Halloween season is upon us. So yesterday I did one of my favorite Stevie King / David Cronenberg films, The Dead Zone. Check it out, my 40th anniversary tribute to the film. And today I recently posted my Curse of Chucky review for his 10th anniversary. So there's gonna be more anniversary reviews that I had to do. Not only that. So for Dead Zone in Blade. So check out those rest of the reviews for the next couple days. And I'm gonna have a Batman villain tribute for the Halloween. Plus, this Sunday, me and Jeff are back again to do our last Chucky for now until next year season 3 review for Livestream. So check that out. Check our review next Sunday. I don't know why that's losing my mouth. I'm losing my mind now.
Come check us out on Andres the Pop Culture Guy Presents
Yes,
at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing Chucky episode 4 of season 3.
Yes, be there. It's gonna be awesome.
We love you, folks. Loki episode 4 review out. God bless all of you. We will see you. I'll see you on Sunday night with Andres, and we'll see you on Monday for WandaVision episode 2. And then we got what?
Next Wednesday we got Zombieland.
Zombieland. There you go. Next Wednesday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. Zombieland.
I'll be
before we tackle Godfather 2.
Yeah, Godfather Part 2.
Peace, folks. We'll see you later.
Peace.